some of the most stable couples, it's the couples that seem to be that seem to have a pretty strong and stable and marriage, do things like have the same email, and they don't have separate cell phones. They do things like they work out of the home mostly if they can, and if they don't, they have days when they're not always away from home, in other words.
Yeah, this separateness online is
too much
really
separateness.
ridiculous.
And the online thing is a real...
his Facebook page, her Facebook page, his Myspace page.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's just not called for in marriage. Accountability nowadays when they each have separate networking accounts, just separate, what you said, emails, and doesn't that just separate them even more? I mean, they were already, let's say they were separated, but now because of the online networking sites, they're just totally apart. Then they wonder why.
Well, it's an error for families and marriages. It's an error. Like I said, the ones that don't have the problems are the ones where things are open, where the computer's in the middle of the room. I just was in a home with some people I met that they've been married for 25 years, and the wife was voicing a concern with me that her husband had a laptop and she didn't get on the computer. She doesn't know much about it. But he has a laptop and he goes wherever in the house with it. And she didn't really say it, but I could sense that she was wondering, because what's he doing, on that? And I didn't know them that well, and she didn't come out and ask me. But I wondered myself, and I thought to myself, well, now, see, that's not acceptable. He needs to be putting that computer out. So that
that's right.
To reassure.
That's right. If she's suspicious, then there might be
Well,
a
she didn't
reason.
come out and say she was suspicious, but I could kind of sense that she wondered. I mean, why does he need to
I know
have
that
the
in
laptop
our home,
away from the room and be doing what? Who knows what
we
he's
should
doing.
let people know that in our home, all our computers are in the view of
Computers are
everyone
all-
else.
computers are
With our sons
center.
too. We do not allow our sons to have computers in their rooms. And
Well, I mean, it's accepted that that's the proper thing to do. And so, yeah, with this internet age, with this internet age,
well, that's part of your headship position, was the rules and regulations of the household. One of those rules that you have instilled on our home that we all cooperate and don't have any problems with is the computers all together. We're all accountable. We're all in the same
Well,
room.
I made that rule years ago, and that's the way even though there was pressure in the teenage years, I want to bring the computer in my room. No, it's not going to happen. Things aren't going to change. This is the way it is. But, yeah, the internet age opens up a whole door of issues that perhaps people haven't, a lot of people don't consider. And
Well, I know there's a lot of emotional adultery going on in homes where, and they're Christian people. Is social networking, private social networking accounts. I get the emails from women all the time. My husband's doing this online.
well,
I saw him do this with his, and I saw these numbers on his cell phone, because then you have the internet cell phones that you can take with you. It's like taking the internet wherever you want to go now to have those kind of cell phones.
and I think that there's been information that has been put out already that says that people say things over the internet that they normally wouldn't say face to face on a chat or whatever, in an email, because they know, oh well, this is an email, this is a chat. They're not sitting in front of you, so they
That's
can
right.
sit there and type all this, romantic, steamy, whatever it is, and it's not the way they would act in person. And so,
Yeah.
just saying that to say that
You're being fooled.
there's a setup. There's a setup there that's conducive to people just fooling one another.
That's right.
And it facilitates that aspect of it. And so, it's like playing with fire. I don't think it's being strict to say that the internet needs to be, just access to computers and internet, or even mobile devices like phones.
Oh, I know.
Should all be, at the very least, out in the center where everyone can see.
Especially if you have teenage sons.
Or shared.
I
If
think.
you have a cell phone, it should be nothing to give your wife your cell phone. You shouldn't have a cell phone your wife can't have. Well, this
That's
is
right.
mine, and well, if you both have cell phones because you have activities and different things that you're doing, well then you ought to frequently swap cell phones. I have a minister friend that do that.
That's a good idea.
I didn't ask them why they do that, but there's no issue or fear with, there's no secrecy.
That's right.
It reassures one another that, oh yeah, no problem, here,
Good
swap
accountability.
phones and one thing. So they don't have to get rid of their cell phone. They just have to. They should and need to think about the other person, put themselves
That's right. That's
in their
good.
shoes. And